Hi everyone, Rachel Crow here, and today I want to talk to you about living funerals and why we should do them. So, I've been someone who leads and participates in all kinds of ceremonies and transitions and honourings of different stages of our lives. And recently I was been talking to a few people about living funerals and why would we want to have a living funeral. And the last funeral I went to, I felt really sad that the person who'd passed never got to hear these amazing stories that were shared about them, or the people, all these people that they had inspired, or just, the little nuggets of beauty, the little seeds that they dropped in, all those things that are just really gorgeous. They never get to hear them. And even, recently I was at a menarche ceremony, and the father of the young girl who was being celebrated just got up and said, obviously for her, really embarrassing things, but, for all of us, it was just beautiful. And I actually said to the girl afterwards, you know what? I never heard my dad say things like that about me. Maybe at my wedding, he said a few things, but, you don't know how lucky you are that you got to hear your dad say those things, and it might have been embarrassing, but when you're older you'll really appreciate it. So, I'm a massive advocate for these living funerals. And, whilst I didn't have one when I was going through my cancer upgrade, my friends were amazing. They had several parties for me. One of them was, there was a solstice party, which was literally the day that I was having chemotherapy. I came back from chemo and there was a big solstice party happening. They had another party for me. I can't even remember. There wasn't really a reason for it, but they'd all gathered. It was before I was going to have surgery, and they'd made me this beautiful blanket, which they'd embroidered the words "I did it my way," and hand felted a crow in the middle of it, and it said, medicine woman, drum woman, all these just beautiful words. And they'd gathered all this fabric and gifts from my sisters from all over the country, all my old friends, and they'd stitched them on this blanket. And there was a hot tub, there was a disco, and even for my birthday, the year that I got the all clear, it was my 50th year, and I had a really big party for my 50th because, a year before I had no idea if I was going to be celebrating my 50th. And before the party, I had a women's sharing circle, and, each one of those women just spoke what I'd meant to them in their lives, that the connection, the friendship, all of these things. And it was so beautiful. And that's what a living funeral is. And I think when someone is sick, they need anything they can get that's going to give them a boost and bring them joy. And that's why I think, actually, to have something, I think, don't call it a living funeral, call it a celebration party or a joy party. But to be the guest of honor and to listen to these stories that you're the center of. We shy away from that. We be, oh, that's, all ego, all that stuff. And actually, maybe there could be some healing there. Maybe there might be in each one of those stories a spark of healing that just ignites in your cells and sends a ripple effect of beauty and joy and love into each of your cells. Because I certainly thought that the beautiful funeral that I was at last year, I just thought, if the person who'd passed could have been here and could have heard all these stories, maybe they would have got well. Maybe, something in them would have just been ignited into health. Who knows? But, and even if it didn't, imagine you're just passing with that beauty and joy and friendship and community in you, in yourselves. So, I'm a massive advocate for celebrations at any time, for any reason at all. It's like, just call it in. Call it in. It's so needed. And, as part of my 30 Moons journey, we have a whole session around death and, just considering that threshold, really visioning into, you know, being empowered into, what do you want? Where do you see yourself? Because it's something that it's such a taboo subject, and we used to do it every year in the Red Tent around Samhain. We'd have a death sharing, and it would be about, how do we want to be buried? How do we want to be celebrated? Do we want to have a home funeral? Do we want our sisters around us washing our bodies and, blessing us with herbs? And sometimes it doesn't go that way. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way, but for your community to hear your wishes, so that when the time comes, they know what to do, they know what you want, they know where you want to be buried, whatever it is. We've had some really wacky conversations about sky burials and home barbecues and all kinds of things, and in reality not all of those things will happen, but the beauty in just sharing that. And I had an instance where I was just like, I'm in my will, my eldest daughter is down as being the person who would get responsibility of my children, and actually she lives in the USA and they wouldn't want to be taken out from their lives here. And I was kind of sharing, I don't know what would happen if both me and their dad passed away. And one of my friends just went, I'll have them, I'd look after them, I would totally. And I was just like, wow, it's huge. Those kind of things are huge, and to really take those into consideration. It wasn't until I actually made a will, and they really make you think about every scenario. Well, what if 5 of you from your family are taken out, but one person is left, and what's going to happen to them? Or all those different scenarios, which are really difficult to think about, but we really need to face this transition. And I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but I just I want to encourage something like a living funeral. If you're at that stage in your life where you need to pull in that support, if you're poorly, if you're certainly dealing with something really serious, call in the joy, call in the party. Pick your favorite music, do whatever you want to do, have the best food, everyone bring a dish, everyone bring a cake, everyone bring a chocolate fondue. whatever will bring you joy and will bring healing for you. Do it, because life is too short. It's too short not to be celebrated, not to be celebrating each other, and not to come together in community. So I urge you to consider it, and tell me if you've done it, or if you've been to a living funeral or a party like that, and what effect did it have for you. So that's my little nugget of wisdom for today. So sending you all so much love, and stay in joy.